Sunday, I think. So it was like soon after we sent it.
Okay. Yeah.
But like the one about clustering.
Mhm.
And I finished watching the videos that you sent last week
Yeah.
of going over my essays. Finish those. Those are really helpful. And I think what those will be most helpful with, at least for the one essay, is is
Being concise.
condensing it. They'll be
Hmm.
most helpful with that because like not that it's not helpful in the other ways, but it was really helpful with condensing it. Like I was already going over it in my head, even if I wasn't looking at the essay. Like I could see ways to like group it together. Can you give me a second? My cat is trying to get into this room.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And I started an outline for it. It's like definitely not. I like how it's going though. Like what I liked about this outline was I actually liked how it was, which wasn't like I didn't feel that way about that first essay that I showed you.
You're talking about the outline in the homework.
Yeah.
So the format that it gave you for the different sections, and it talks about the word counts and everything, which I'm less
Yeah.
concerned about right now. But just having those separate sections of the essay to focus on, like the hook versus middle, that was
It was
helpful.
helpful because I one thing about me is like I will just write,
Mhm.
but then I
Yes.
don't know how to connect them, and I worry about connecting them so much that I don't just write. That I like have to start at the beginning, otherwise I feel like I won't connect it. But I kind of just
Yes.
wrote them
Yes.
in
Yes.
sections this time.
Yeah.
Um, the section I kind of struggled with that I really didn't write much at all
Mhm.
for was the second section, I think it was.
Are you talking
Let
about
me
second section of the
like the
first outline?
background.
Okay, so let's look.
Yeah. Uh,
Um,
the
the
background and
beauty,
rising action.
okay, beauty and self worth and true health, or the nurse who listened.
The beauty one.
Okay, let's look at that. All right, so
I think that I might
all
go
right,
with this if this essay goes how
hmm
I think it's going.
okay, yeah, we will spend time today looking at that, for sure. You're right. I'm hearing what you're saying because when a writer writes, um, there's kind of a war between an outline and what wants to come out of the pen, right?
Yeah.
This constant tension. Um, so there are tricks for that, but again, I think for you, the best method is going to be to read this out loud, and those
Okay.
connections will make themselves known. You have to be really relaxed. You have to, and here's the thing: write like crazy. Just let your pen just bleed out ink and thoughts. It's almost like let the pen do the thinking for you. That
Okay.
way you can see what's there because you can
Okay.
remove a lot of it.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
whole, yeah,
I read out like I read aloud a lot of my writing just because it especially with poems it helps to like know how it flows and stuff.
sure.
Yeah, I think I just I didn't read it out loud for this because it felt like embarrassing, I guess. So I have to probably do that.
All right. What would be most helpful to you right now in terms of looking at this section?
I kind of I honestly just want to like okay, do I like okay, so basically for the rising action, the thing I struggled with the most for it was I I think that it's just really hard to can I read you my hook real quick?
Of course. Yeah, let's jump right in.
Okay,
I'm
so
at, I'm at, yeah, go ahead. I'm listening.
sorry. So I did start with that hook. I did take it from your cluster video. Um,
Okay.
my application says nurse, but I started my journey not as a healer, but as a destroyer. Not as someone who
Hmm.
wished nothing more than to make something I perceived as too much into less, my weight. And then like a the two dot thing. Is that a colon? I think that's a colon. And then my weight
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah.
I like because I don't know, that stylist's choices.
Hmm.
I like that.
Yeah.
And after that, I literally only have like one sentence because I wasn't sure like for the second part because that hook is just that.
Yeah.
But
Right.
for the second part, I was just like, I don't know if I should go more like literal with this or continue with the figurative language aspect of it.
Hmm.
But it felt, I don't know, it just felt so like, okay, I don't want to say cringy because it's not like a cringy topic, but it just felt so cringy, everything I wrote. So I just kind of like deleted all of it. And then now I have one sentence. And basically that sentence is, at 11 years old, all I wanted was for the number zero to paint my weight records all over. And I don't like that either, but I think that's just because the all over part at the end isn't and the right part in the sentence. So it doesn't flow as well as I want it to.
What's the most important part of looking in the mirror? What you learned from that, how you grabbed that? What's the most important lesson for you?
Um, that it doesn't really matter what looks back at you in the mirror because in the like uncheesiest way possible, it's like it's nobody's gonna really see you as what your appearance is. Maybe in the first impression of you, but not it's not gonna decide your relationship with others.
What you see is not going to determine relationship with others.
Yeah, that's a better way of phrasing it.
I'm writing this down. Okay, I want you to write down what you just said in your draft
That
because you said it
other
very
people don't.
clearly and concisely. Well, I'll tell you what you wrote. It doesn't really matter what you see in the mirror, what you see staring at you in the mirror.
Okay. What should
It,
I write that in? I feel like I should write that in the fourth one.
let's take a look.
I could go into like something like like it doesn't really matter
Yeah,
what stares back at you in the mirror because
yeah,
in the end
yeah.
your character or like I'm characterized by my kindness, not by my face or something. I don't know. I don't know where to write that, so I'm just gonna write that randomly in my doc.
Right, right. No, no, no. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. You can park it in a reflection. That's fine.
Okay.
Um, so what we're going to do is we're painting here, okay? We're painting with not precise like a sketch and then the paint. We're dabbing. We're putting little dabs, right? So what
Yeah.
we're going to do is we'll connect these, and that's where some of the brainstorming can come into place. When you want to look for those connections, it's super exciting how you can do this because you can take an idea from your introduction and you can take an idea from your the body of your paper or even your reflection right there, and you can put those words together and find that reflection. You can make that the focal point of brainstorming.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't
Okay.
my parents are like throwing a party or something.
Okay.
It's like loud. Um, okay, I did hear what you were saying though. Um, another issue that I had with this kind of was I didn't I do want to say it was really, really helpful because I've been in such a bad writing slump. So this is like was really, really helpful to getting out of it.
Yeah.
I haven't even been doing creative writing because I just haven't been able to.
Sure.
Um, but
Right.
this was really helpful. But one thing I did struggle again with was just how to do in the reflection, connecting it with the college that I want to go to.
What part okay, is that? Okay.
I mean, I could,
Connection.
I feel like it should be easy, but it's also like,
Yeah. It seems forced, right?
yeah,
But
I
the
feel
thing
like,
is, you don't even have to say much. You don't even have to necessarily. So that's why that's the danger in the outline, because this is just a guideline. This was just a quick homework. When I gave this to you last week, I knew that you're a busy person. And remember, I told you, write it really quickly. Just get it out. This outline just serves as a quick, like,
yeah,
I laid this down. That doesn't fit. I laid this next part down. It's almost like laying down bricks, but not connecting them necessarily. It's just like an arrangement of bricks. It's like, oh, this is stupid, right? But it's getting it out of your system,
yeah. No,
right?
I think that was really helpful. That was like I think I
Yeah.
wrote it in like I didn't write much, admittedly. It's not as
Yeah.
much as I wanted to because
But
I
if,
had to go to sorry, what did you say?
no, I'm listening.
Oh, um because I had to go to like another class when I was but but it's something that I actually like. Like I did go back and I edited like the I made the I's capitalized and stuff like that because I was writing it just so quickly, but I I like it. That's like the thing that I noticed like just looking back at it. Um I really I like it and that's more than I can say about my first essay.
Yeah, it's truth because you're writing truth. And when we write quickly, we discover things. And I'm going to tell you, when you start to experience this as a writer, and it sounds cheesy as heck, but I've written impressive things very quickly. And when that inspiration comes, it's like the tears flow because it's speaking to the inner me. The inner me is writing to the inner me of somebody else, right?
Yeah.
And you're the first person who's your audience. You're your own audience, right? You know the bullshit and you don't like the BS. So you have an inner BS detector and you're like, I don't like this. I don't like this. But for now, you just kind of have to be vulnerable, like that mirror. You have to
Yeah.
let it all hang out. You have to see all that writing, all the dumb writing and all that stuff. So you get it out of your system. So these early weeks here, they may seem like we're dragging our feet. It may seem like, is this ever gonna, you know, is this ever gonna come together?
Yeah.
But we're working through the creativity. We're trying to find your voice here. And you just said it. And I think that comes from truth. Being concise and being truthful is where our voice is. You'll
Yeah,
discover that. Yes.
I'm sorry. No,
Keep
I
going.
agree. I think that I don't know. Again, it's just it was so helpful. Like this is like I might do it again. I think I will. No, I don't think might. Like I will do it again for other ideas that I have.
You mean the clustering?
Yeah.
Right.
And just in general, the like quick writes.
So I'm gonna show you something here.
Okay.
Notice what I wrote here. Don't focus on the words. Just look at how it looks. These are random ideas. These are notes I'm taking from you, things I'm hearing, things I'm trying to say, whatever it is, right? They're not necessarily connected, right? So when you do a brainstorm like that, you can take a word from here and a word from here and put them together. It's like a forced marriage, right? Into a center. So you take idea number one and idea number two, and you write them in a circle in terms of a phrase, right? So I'm
Yeah.
trying to show you how to connect ideas. It could be lizard and oatmeal. Okay. No connection, right? Tree and candy, right? No connection, apparently. But if you put them together in a statement inside of a circle, and that becomes the kernel, that becomes the starting point for letting your mind go. Not thinking, but just writing, just letting it go. It's this odd place. It's almost like dreaming. I could sit there and imagine, oh, what should I do today? What's it going to look like when I get to college? Let's try to visualize that. And it seems very forced. Or we could go to sleep and dream about this stuff, right? Where our mind gives us all those answers. but we don't have the luxury of just putting our mind to sleep, right? We're trying to get this darn thing done because you have other things you're trying to do. You have SAT
Yeah.
prep, you have dinner, you have work, you have your pet cat, you have your mom, the things she wants you to do, right? So
Yeah.
what is that? What is that middle ground of creativity to bridge both worlds? It is brainstorming. It's cluster mapping because that shuts down your brain. It's almost like there's this thing in Indian meditation called yoga nidra, right?
Yeah.
But it's called non-sleep deep rest, right? So when you close your eyes, you have a guided visualization. You're actually doing better than sleep. You're almost in that in-between state, right? It's almost like when you're half asleep, you tend to dream the most vividly, but you're
Yeah.
still awake. You're still awake, right?
One thing I do a lot when I go to bed, because I have like really bad insomnia some days. Um, but one thing I do is I'll kind of just like lay there with my eyes closed and think. Um, like sometimes my cat's like I have a weighted blanket, so I have that on me, and then my cat's on top of the weighted blanket. So it's like it's a very nice and comfortable like, and a lot of
Um,
the ideas that I get for like creative writing specifically are
yes.
from that. It hasn't really helped for college stuff, admittedly, because I don't really want to be thinking about college right as I'm about to sleep. It kind of doesn't help
Right.
me fall asleep. But I know what you mean because the reason I do that is because of what you
Mhm.
just said.
Right,
um
right. Albert Einstein used to lay down on a bed, flat on his back, with a hairbrush in his hand, just like I'm holding here, and his hand was over the side of the bed. And so he just let himself go, right?
yeah,
But he wouldn't let himself sleep because the moment he lost consciousness, what would happen to the hairbrush?
it would
It would
fall.
drop to the floor and it would wake him up. And so that's how he kept this creative spell going, where he captured ideas and everything. You can also do it by walking. You can write, and then take a walk. I guarantee you. Because what happens is the eyes, I've studied this, when your eyes are viewing the horizon and the trees and the clouds and the mountains outside, your your brain, you know that your eyes are not part of your brain. They are actually they're part of your brain. They're not connected to your brain. So the eyes are actually part of your brain. If we're always on the screen and always on the page and we're overwhelmed and we're working hard throughout the day, we lose perspective and we cannot see ideas for we don't let our ideas create themselves.
Yeah.
And
I do
so
actually do that as well. I go to the gym a lot and I use the
yeah,
Stairmaster.
yeah. Try to if you go to the gym, try to go way in the back so your eyes can see far, and that will help you as well. But and back to this
Sorry, yeah.
cluster bubbling. I have a whole book on this.
Oh, you do?
It's
What's
yeah,
it
I
called?
do. I'll show you. It's the difference. So let me tell you what it is. It came from a Stanford professor, Stanford University, and this is designed to get you into the right brain. The right brain sees the patterns. The right brain creates for you, and you sit back and you watch it, and you bring that into everything. What that means is this war between the outline and what you're writing. Sometimes you have to forget the outline, and it's painful because the outline tells you, oh, I got to talk about the value. Oh, I have to talk about this fact. Oh, I have to connect it to this. But when you do the clustering, you're in control in a certain sense because you're telling your mind what to focus on. You're saying, okay, Lehigh college value, right? And you name what that value is. Maybe it's community, right? So you put that in the middle of the circle. And then this other idea of um, loving oneself, right? Seeing who you are in the mirror or inner beauty. So inner beauty and community are two ideas that maybe are not too well connected, but they're important to you, are they not? Because inner beauty is pretty much the whole theme of that whole piece. It's the whole point of you looking in the mirror and learning to love yourself. Community is kind of like the real world of I'm applying this to a college. This is not for fun. This is not for creativity. This is because I want to get into darn college. And so you put those two, inner beauty and community, in the middle of the circle, and then you cluster around it. And you trust whatever comes out. If 90% of it is nonsense, you keep going until you feel that internal click. Just like that. You're always going to know when it happens because it's like it's all, whoa, I see it now. It's like, whoa,
Yeah.
it's a connection that you never knew existed before. And that connection that you make can become the focal point of a paragraph. Just put it in a statement, just like I did in the video, right? That becomes a new focal point, and then you write to that.
Okay.
What
Okay.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Now,
okay.
yeah.
So for that aspect of the outline, I should do cluster mapping. And then when I get like stuck on something like that, I should do cluster mapping.
Here's like a yes. The answer is yes. And here's another way to do it. Why not? I mean, because essentially, why not use your draft as a place to fish for cluster map ideas? What do I mean by that? So, for example, you're talking about Lehigh and the values and everything. So you're gonna draft for about maybe 5 minutes. You're gonna say, okay, um, learning to love myself has become such a wonderful thing that I think it can help me to connect to other people and to be a valuable part of Lehigh. And you're thinking to yourself the whole time, this is so stupid and cliched. Sounds so formulaic, right? But just keep following it and then look at it and then say, okay, oh, that's a good idea. I didn't think about becoming a tutor on campus. That idea, that's a pretty good idea right there. Oh, I didn't think about this other idea here. Now, granted, you may not like the writing itself, but there might be an idea in there, and that becomes the word that goes into your cluster map, right? So use, does that make sense?
Yeah,
So
sorry. Sorry, yeah.
you're, yeah, you're drafting, just like right off that outline that I gave you in the homework, right? You're like, okay, let's look at it. So it's like, okay, let's background. Show how the obsession began, subtle, relatable details, diet culture, comparing herself to peers, and just start writing on that. Just say, well, I learned about the cotton ball diet and I tried that for a while and I was losing weight, but then I was crumbling inside. It wasn't sustainable, right? It was just one of those things that gave me fast results. It was like a drug, right? Um, and now right away, that word drug comes up to me, and then the symbolic aspect of drug comes up to me. This is just my own mind, okay? So if it was me, I'd say, okay, drug, that's an interesting word. So self-loathing can become a drug. That's an interesting idea. I wonder if I should cluster about that. So let me circle that for now, and let me keep drafting. So you go back to the outline and you say, okay, escalation. She goes from food restrictions to full-blown eating disorder. Okay, well, my medical condition led to this, and then I was starving for a while in there, and then I ended up in hospital there. So blah 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 blah, and now I was a patient, and I had to be patient. Whoa, wait a minute. I like that word patient. Okay, whatever reason. Okay, then you keep drafting. It says, the moment she hits bottom, hospitalized, stripped of any illusions. Then you can say, being in the hospital was like um, seeing a mirror that didn't have the nice soft lighting on it. I could see all my wrinkles. I could see all my blemishes. I could see all my flaws up close. And I didn't like what I saw. And then I thought to myself, am I really going to see myself this way? So what came up in that? Blemishes, wrinkles, right? Blemishes. So that becomes another blemish. Um, okay. And you can think to yourself, okay, so I've got that word drug. And from my first paragraph, my introduction with my hook, the mirror and it's like, what did you write? It doesn't really matter what you see staring at yourself in the mirror. What you will, that will not determine your relationship with others. Okay,
Yeah.
um, so a relationship to self and um, self-sabotage or drugging oneself with self-loathing. I think you can even talk about at this point self-harm if you want to go there, if it
Okay.
feels safe to go there, right? Because this becomes a um, a manifestation of this war of that you gave in your introduction. You're saying, okay, I was not a healer. My application says nurse, but I want to tell you who the real me is before I really learned or whatever. Um, I was a self-harmer, right? I was a destroyer. I think that's the word that you used, right?
Yeah.
Um,
But I think I might
so,
change it. I just don't like that word in general.
but here's the thing. Be very careful that you're not, like if you like a different word, add it in, but don't take away too much right now. I want you to put a lot in.
Okay.
We're at
So
the put in stage,
yeah,
put in stage,
just
right?
no. Okay.
Um, because you're going to waste a lot of your time trying to edit and refine and fix sentences. We don't
Yeah.
care about what sentences are like right now. We care about you making those connections where like you're so excited about the outline. You're like, oh my gosh, I have connections now. I get it. I'm going to write this darn thing, right? That's the
Yeah.
point we want to get you to. Don't let the
Okay.
writing get in the way. We're using writing to feed our creativity and to
Okay.
record things. Okay. So, drugging oneself, self loathing, self destruction, just even take that word drugging oneself or self destruction drug habit, right? It's not a real drug habit, it's just symbolism. But maybe create a cluster out of that um, and make a connection. This is really, I'm very happy that you are not getting lost in the details here because I can't do this with everybody. Because some people would say, I'm confused now. Are you asking me to cluster with this word or that word or both? I don't
No,
get it, right?
I I am very my own brain is kind of like that. Like just
Right.
so yeah, just it's a
Yeah.
lot in my own brain.
It
So I'm
it's
still
creative. You have a
yeah.
creative mind. Anyway. Yeah. So like I said, I would find a way, and maybe I'll give you some time right now to draft. Why don't you just go ahead and write that middle part of your paper and make it dull, make it boring. Just write.
Okay.
Make it dull, make it boring, make it cliched, make it whatever. But just tell the story
Okay.
following the outline,
Yeah,
right?
I struggle with that too. Like one
Yeah.
thing I realized is that I actually like I can spend so much time just on one sentence, just not because I don't like it, so I redo it over and over and over and over again. Then I don't finish
Okay.
writing anything.
I'm going to do something now that you might kind of like,
Okay.
might work with you. Yeah, I'm just going right off the fly.
No, you're
So I'm going to do this like in an interview right now. I'll be the scribe. All you have to do is sit back and pretend you're being interviewed, just you and me. And
okay.
okay, so so Vanita, so let's talk about how this issue of how you saw yourself in the mirror escalated, right? So how did this begin? How did the whole thing begin with
So
you looking in the mirror and trying to change your appearance, like that specific point?
so it started specifically, I remember it starting specifically when I had just come out of the shower and the first thing I saw was myself in the mirror. And I remember thinking to myself as an 11-year-old, oh, I am so fat. Or no, I was 10. Um, and the scale was right there. So I weighed myself and I remember thinking, that number is too big. I wish it was further down. And then further down, as I started eating less and less, it was a process of eating less and less because at 10 years old, you're not very disciplined at all. You would go to a diet and then fall off of it because you see ice cream. Um,
Okay.
and as I did slowly start losing weight though because I was inconsistently eating now. And as the number went down, my goal weight shifted as well. It would go further down and further down and further down and further down. And eventually, even zero felt like too much. Um, and yeah, that was kind of how it escalated.
Okay, you've just written in a very concise way. You spoke, but we're going to turn that into writing.
Okay.
Okay. And already my creative mind is going crazy here in a great way. So I was losing weight and it was going, as it went further down, um, even zero was too much. So you could say you felt like a zero. The number was too big, right? It's also this idea about being a number. I reduced myself to a number.
Oh, I like
I
that. Okay.
reduced myself to a number. And that goes back to what you can say later on that your nurse, I'm putting all these essays together. Your nurse didn't see you as a number.
Okay. Okay.
See? But your number was less than zero. So you can even, this is why we don't spend too much time in introductions because I'm thinking already we can even change our introduction. Because your introduction pretty much, you write it first, that's fine. But it actually is the last thing that you fix because you read the whole essay and you say, oh, a better introduction would be. And you could even have an introduction that would say, um, something to the effect, if I was a number, it would have been less than zero. Because when I came out of the shower at that age, 10, I didn't like what I saw in the mirror. And I start to lose weight. Sometimes it's best to begin essays in the middle of the action. Because your reader's like, what's going on here? Oh my gosh, I'm captivated. Where's this going to go? Huh? See?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm
So,
just writing these things down.
no, that's fine. I know. You're also, I put chat for a reason because you can actually go back to the transcript.
Oh, wait, where do you see this, by the way? Are they in
What's
Google
that?
Class? The recordings, are they in Google Classroom?
Oh, the recordings are on my desktop. So all you have to do is ask for them because as soon as I know
Oh,
you
okay.
want them, I'll put them up on YouTube because I don't have a lot of space in my Google, in my drive. So I
Okay.
always create something and it's always a private video. It's not like anybody can go on my channel and just look, oh, what's Vanita doing? Because it's unlisted. So, um, yes, you'll get that recording. Um,
Thank you.
but one of the things I said here was that, you can change your introduction, but we're going to do this anyway. Trust me. In this process of us working together, I'm going to encourage you to rethink that introduction. So it's impossible to have a good introduction if you come up with it, you perfect it, and you never go back to it. It's always the last thing.
Sorry,
Okay.
yeah.
So the other thing you said, so you said this, it started when I came out of the shower and I was 10 years old. I remember thinking to myself, I'm so fat. So if you want to write that down, we can go as slow as we need to.
Yeah, wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
It started when I came out of the shower.
Yeah. Okay.
I was 10 years old. I remember thinking to myself, I am so fat. Sorry, I'm going to have to plug in my computer. The other thing that you said, um,
The scale being right there.
the scale was right there and the number that I saw was too big. And then that's when you started to lose weight and you started to describe. So you can say that number I think that's an important word in this essay. That number was too big. Um, and then perhaps you can write down, I felt like a number. And as the number grew smaller, this is just my own idea. As the number got smaller, because those numbers were unacceptable, I became smaller in my own eyes.
Okay.
Um, I was losing weight, and as the number went further down, I was losing weight, and as the number went further down, even to zero, oh, sorry, further down, comma, even zero felt like too much.
Okay. Okay.
Let me
I
plug
feel
in.
like really good about this one.
I got it. Okay.
Okay. Um, okay. Okay.
All right. The next two parts here are, I'll put it in the chat so I can focus on the session. Okay. Next part was, how did it go to a full-blown eating disorder? I think you did describe that already. You were saying that you were losing weight. You were starting to restrict what you ate, but kind of in an inconsistent way.
Um, from there, it kind of just um it escalated to the point where I really wasn't eating anything. Should I go into like purging here, or should I just kind of cut that out?
I don't know, but I would include it.
Okay, just for now, because I feel like if I do
It's
mention purging, I need to talk about it entirely. I can't just briefly mention it. But if I don't have enough words, I could probably cut it out later.
Yeah, what I would do is I would in parentheses I would say perhaps avoid something like that because I totally get it. You don't you want to conserve your words and you want to be
Yeah,
sure that you're staying
I
on
also really
target.
I really want to because I've gotten my essay proofread, like that first essay I wrote proofread by a lot of people, and all of them came back with the same feedback that I need to like focus on the recovery aspect of it more so than because I'm trying to focus on who I am as a person instead of
Yeah.
so I want to make sure that I do that properly. Um,
Yeah,
okay.
for sure we want to do that. Yeah, and that's part of the turning point here because there's the problem, right? And there's the turning point because that's what we want to showcase, right? Not a person who needs counseling, necessarily help, right?
Yeah.
I'm coming to Lehigh. I hope you can help me. All right. So, but we do want to at least, you know, go through these portions, these questions, and to see if we can cover anything here. Okay. So from there, it escalated to the point where I wasn't eating anything. Mhm.
Um, and when I turned 13, or when I was 13, not when I turned 13, I was I hit a weight where I had to be hospitalized. Um, and I couldn't really hide things anymore from my parents. Um, and it was, yeah, I don't really know what else to say about that. That was kind of just a really bad experience.
Okay, so you're gonna write that down next. When I was 13, I hit a weight where I had to be hospitalized. When I was 13, I hit a weight where I had to be hospitalized.
Okay.
And I couldn't hide anything from my parents any longer.
Okay. Okay.
Again, remember how I said last week, we're going to probably end up with 1,300 words somewhere in there. Don't worry, because we can slash and burn later.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Um, okay. Next part of this. She hits bottom, hospitalized, stripped of any illusions. Yeah. Anything else you want to say about that in the hospital? That that
Um,
what happened there with you?
I don't think anything right now, but I might like when I finish this outline, like really finish it, then I think I might find something.
Okay. Next part here. Okay, we're on to a new section here. Turning point. So I could do this. See if I can speed this up for you. Okay, so you volunteered at the animal shelter after your treatment. Um, now, is that the turning point? Because we have here, and I'm going to share my screen. So let me see. Let me see what I'm seeing. Okay. Okay. So this might be missing something here because it says she volunteers at the animal shelter after treatment, feeding sick cats with the virus. Tiny moment of choosing to care for something else when she didn't feel worthy herself. Um, show her reflection, caring for them made me realize I deserved care too. Um, but is that a proper bridge between
Not
this?
really.
Okay.
I
So what's
don't
the missing
feel
part here? What helped you recover?
I don't really know. That's the thing. I just kind of like I don't want to say I literally just got out of the hospital and then I hope for the best, but
It it turned you around. Basically, it was an eruption, and it allowed
yeah,
you to function long enough to maybe um, get involved with things like helping others,
yeah,
and that was part of your process.
yeah. Okay, that's a good way of phrasing it.
Okay, so being in the hospital helped you slam the brakes, right, on what you're doing to yourself,
Yeah.
and it allowed you to be able to refocus on something else completely different. It allowed you to focus on something else completely different. So finish this sentence. For me, that different focus started with
Um, volunteering at the animal shelter, perhaps. I don't, did I do it? I can't remember if I did anything before that.
so I'm going to use some insight here. Okay. I know a little bit about addiction recovery. And if when you're in recovery, right, and they try to get you to work through the problems, what happened, what's really going on, right? The focus can oftentimes become more on the problem than a different focus.
Yeah.
And so oftentimes the best recovery is simply just being distracted.
Yeah, you're
right?
right.
See what I'm saying? So you can put a sentence in there for that. It's not something you really have to tackle and make the whole point of your essay to explain that to the people reading your essay, right? And I think we covered that when you said it allowed me to slam the brakes and gave me a different focus long enough, right?
The
To get
best
involved
medicine
with,
was distraction and redirection.
yeah, absolutely. Hmm. Yeah. And so talk to me about what did that do for you? Um, now, that's a kind of a weird question. It could be misunderstood. She volunteers at the animal shelter for treatment. Um, Oftentimes, it's a wrong question, isn't it? What did it do for you? Well, the point it wasn't about me. That's the whole point, right? So, um, but that's still
So
it's still a personal
yeah,
benefit, right? When
it
I turn my attention towards helping someone else, it does help them because if I'm more focused on helping them, it actually does help me, right?
yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
I could frame it in a way that's like where I said like the best medicine was for me was distraction and redirection. I could say that um the entire point of volunteering wasn't that it helped me, but that it gave what was that but that it wasn't that it helped me, but that it helped others, and that in turn gave me distraction and redirection.
Well, yeah, exactly. It helped me forget about myself.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And here's the thing. Doesn't that help me? I'm not writing this down. Helped me forget about myself. And therefore I can do, you know. Here's a cool connecting idea because you're talking about becoming a nurse, and I know that's not necessarily needs to be the focus of the essay because you're getting into Lehigh, not necessarily the nursing program per se, right? Um, so we can frame it to where it's not necessarily talking about being a healer, but just helping others, right? Being an asset in others' lives, right? Being somebody who guides others, right?
Yeah.
So you can certainly broaden that. And at the end, in your conclusion, you can tie it all together by saying, "Oh, by the way, I'm applying for a nursing program, and what a wonderful way to help others, right?" So regardless of whether I become a nurse or a an accountant or a teacher, right? So we can save that for conclusion. I'll write that down too, by the way. Conclusion. We can tie the ideas of nursing to broader values of Lehigh, such as um, you know, being part of a community where I can help others. I also want you to talk about your personality change. You mentioned it before, right? Mentioned about going to New York City and reaching out to people, right?
Yeah.
They're okay, right? That's an important element of this because remember, like you said before, you don't want the emphasis to be on the illness, the the pain, right? But who you are, right?
Yeah.
Showcasing who you are, and that shows how you value. It's not just about who you are. Oh, I have a nice personality. Oh, I reach out to people, but you showed them that dark side so that you are demonstrating that that you're more grateful. You value yourself more now. I'm getting goosebumps from that because
But yeah,
um,
I can see
I now
myself writing that.
I value who I am. I'm not just caring and friendly and concerned with honesty and justice. I had to see how these values changed, helped me to heal. See how it all comes together?
Yeah.
It's
No,
one thing to have values, right? And we see this with people that are not grateful, they're just arrogant. Well, you know, I'm an empathizer, or I'm a social justice warrior, right? Right. Versus, you know, I there came a time in my life, this is all I had. All I had was my kindness towards myself. All I had was um, learning to care, right? All that. So, um, all right. I don't want to put too much on your plate because I know you're writing things down at a fast rate, and I'm not going to add any new information. So I'll go back to these notes before we end, so that way you can jot these down. That way you don't have to go to the video. I don't want you to spend extra time and have to go through the video. I want you to feel like you're being productive right now, so you feel
okay.
good about this hour, right? Um, and you can. I'll put the video up and all that, so don't worry about that. Um, let me see if I. So let me see if I can repair anything. I forget. So yeah. So the other idea that comes to mind for me, that different focus started with the value. Oh, I don't know what I just said. Um, so I think you wrote this down, probably helped me forget myself.
He, wait, for what section?
So,
Oh, yes. Yeah, yeah, I did say that. I did say that.
right, help me forget myself. Now, here's the thing I want you to kind of think about, and this could be maybe something for a cluster, um, or just a sentence that you write down. Um, I really think what that showed you is that you could be a healer. You can be wounded, you can be broken, you could have a past, but the moment you begin to just focus on somebody else's need, in other words, you can become, in the midst of pain, you can become an instant guide, an instant healer. It's just a matter of focus.
Okay.
Um, okay. And then the personality, you may want to write that down. And I think the section it can go into, it feels like it wants to go in the reflection part.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, and I can just go
Um,
like random little tidbits. Like, I don't know.
mhm.
I have a thing in my head, but I don't know how to say it.
But here's the thing about that. When you become more focused and you're getting better, you're becoming a better writer and you don't even realize it because I'm showing you techniques here. Like when we do this interview and you're stating stuff, I'm just jotting down what you're saying and you're just turning around and writing it down, right?
Yeah.
But the other lesson here in terms of just pure writing technique is the more you write and show things, the more beautiful it is. Like storytelling, that whole type of writing it actually allows you to say much more, doesn't it? I'll give you an example. In your conclusion, you can say, on one of my recent trips to New York, I was shocked by the realization that the person I saw in the mirror in New York was a totally different person than I saw when I was 10 years old,
Yeah.
right? And I maybe I'm reading this wrong, but I got the sense the last time when you shared that, like that was an amazing thing for you.
Yeah, it was.
Th- This is how you see yourself now. This is who you are. You are this healer. You are this person who just fills in the need. You just naturally see other people, right? Um, and so that's how you talk about your personality. It's so you said it's. I'll just put it randomly at the conclusion. Well, yeah, I understand that, but an even better way, an easier way is to just tell a little story, little anecdotes, which allow you to bridge that gap and show. Because people like to be shown, not told, right?
Yeah. No, yeah. That's what my AP Lang teacher always said.
Right. Um, and then also write this down. This whole idea about valuing who I am. Yes, I've got these personality traits, but at one point they were all that I had. Um, let's see here. We can tie ideas of nursing. Oh yeah, and then in the conclusion, or making that connection to the values of the college that you're applying to, you want to speak, and this is part of revision, right? Later on, we can look at this whole essay and say, okay, do we want to talk about nursing and healing? Do we want to broaden that? And even if we talk about healing later on in the essay, we can say something like, healing and helping are pretty close together, right? Guiding, healing,
Yeah.
teaching, they're very similar. And we can come up with a way to say that. So the whole goal today was just to give you a lot of new material and to make you feel productive because you are, but you also want to feel like you don't have a big long list of things to do. How do you feel about today and how helpful it's been towards you being
I
able to
think
move things forward for yourself?
I think it was really helpful. I have a lot of good information that I can put into the outline now, and I think
Mhm.
by next time I should have it done fully so we can like just revise it and
Mhm.
condense it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and if you do get stuck, reach out, but also feel free to take whatever you're stuck, whatever you're trying to make a connection to, splice them together into a statement, draw a circle around it, and just start to web
Yeah,
off of that.
sure.
And trust
Yeah.
your mind. Your mind is all of our minds are so brilliant.
Yeah.
It'll give us what we're looking for. All right. So, how can I be of most help to you between now and the next session? Or you think you've got your work cut out for yourself?
I think I'm good,
Mhm.
probably, but if I do get stuck on another section, I'll definitely reach out. Do you have open office hours? When?
Yeah. So I was looking at my calendar, and that's just one of the things I was wondering about when I saw this calendar. I don't know if I'd made a mistake in my calendar, but I kept seeing where I had put office hour. No, our office hour is Saturday at 4:30,
Okay,
but
so
that's
that's perfect.
7:30. You're in Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah.
Philadelphia. Yeah. So, does it still work? I think that's what we talked about.
I that should work. It would just be after the session next time that I would. Oh, do you have office hours like right now then?
Wait a minute. Maybe I'm confused. Okay, I get it now. I get it. That's for my other student. Okay. Yes, I actually do have an office hour um, now, but if it doesn't work for you now, we can meet. You can take a 30-minute break, come back. It's totally up to you.
I have another class. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
So I don't work on Sundays, but
Okay.
if depending on how late it is, you probably need a couple days, right? Do you want to do an office hour like in the middle of next week, like early part of
Um,
next week?
can I reach out to you? Because I might not need
Yeah.
it, but I'll see. I'll let you
We'll
know.
we'll play it by ear.
Yeah.
Totally play it by ear. So just let me know, and if I can fit you in, no problem.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Take
Have a
care.
good weekend.
You too. Likewise.